Welcome to day 619 of our Web3 journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian, and we have two very special guests with us today. You know them as the developers of Setu Deso. We've got Shubham and Man Mohit. So welcome to the
Setu
show.
Guys.
Deso, Setu Deso, not Setu Desu. It's a tongue
That's
twister though. But
Setu
yeah,
Deso.
we have you guys here. I love what you guys have been doing. It's kind of like this bridge from Web 2 to Web 3, where you're allowing people to basically port over their tweets, their WordPress blogs over to Deso. And I see that you also have Instagram and LinkedIn coming pretty soon. I'm sure you have a lot of other plans as well. But I think you're one of the projects that has the potential to sort of be that bridge that can bring people over from Web 2 and from the traditional social world. Uh, just tell us a little bit about your background and why you chose to create Setu Deso.
Yeah, so I will go first on that. Actually, before starting Setu, I was actually doing a podcast of my own, and that is why being on this podcast with you two is such an honor for me. So earlier I had done a podcast for almost 1.5 years, and we were
Wow.
recording this live as well, and we were doing it on Instagram live, and then later we used to scrub the audio and put it on Spotify. But then the kind of rewards that are given out on Web2 are sort of very centralized, and the few of the biggest creators take away the lion's chunk of the rewards or the advertisement money, and the rest of the creators don't really get much. So I was really looking out for different ways to monetize, and that's when I hit upon DSO about a year ago. And being an engineer, I was generally into decentralization and blockchain technology, and that's when I realized the potential for Deso. And actually, my first thought when I got around to Deso was to actually start a podcast which covered updates on Deso. But then I realized you guys already had that. So so then sort of we had to move focus and think about doing other things. And then the thing that sort of struck me a lot was that Web2 has a lot of proven viral content. So Web2 social media, Facebook has been around for almost 20 years. There have been tons of different implementations. So there's a lot of content on Web2 platforms. Whereas when I sort of came onto Diamond and scrolled around on DSO, there was not too much engaging content. So it seemed obvious to me that one place is rich in content and another place does not have enough quality content. So there needs to be a API bridge which needs to be built so that people can start moving some of their quality content from Web2 to Web3. And then of course you get all the other benefits such as earning from likes, earning from tips and so on. So all of that is to the benefit. So that was kind of my personal story, but I would like to bring Manmohit into this as
Yeah,
well. And
so like mine is a bit different. So I kind of started a startup in Web2 itself to solve for earnings of creators. That was basically influencer marketing. I was building an aggregator platform where I was connecting a micro and an nano influencer users to different set of companies so that they can collaborate and have a smoother platform to scale the influencer marketing piece. So there, what I realized was it was more of a not thing was not really sorted in terms for the influencer itself. It was more driven by the companies. So for that to have a level playground, we wanted like me and Shubham are kind of similar. We have a same college getting passed out. So he was looking into D. So I came up with this idea. I was looking into it. I've kind of spent my 3-4 months into it. I was trying to figure out to resolve this. Then we came up that this certain problem could be solved in a decentralized network, and the earnings of the customers or the creators that we're looking for can be really boosted up by the content that they right now make, not just by the ad or the influencer marketing that we're looking for. Then we both aligned on this particular idea and piece. We kind of explored a lot. Then the DSO came into the picture with the discussion and everything. Then we popped up to our idea where we can probably help these creators shift into or uh, help the creators to monetize more on their content piece. And that is where the Setu came into the picture. And basically, Setu is just what we call it as a bridge. Like in Hindi, it means a bridge. So
So
that is
so
how we came to the
Setu
name.
Setu means bridge in Hindi. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
yeah, that's
yes,
Okay.
right.
yes, that is
So
right.
So
Yeah,
bridge to
that's
Deso.
the yeah
yeah.
that that is the entire philosophy behind the Setu, that we are looking to create a platform where we can easily, like anything right now a user has on the web 2, and any problem that he faces while moving into web 3. So all the problem that lies within the path from going from web 2 to web 3 is the domain what we're trying to solve. So it's the bridge that solves your all of your problems from web 2 to web 3. Right now we're majorly focusing upon the, as Vyas mentioned, on the content part, because we see as a major burning problem for every I would say creator that is moving into web 3. But we have plans to like expand it to multiple other verticals as well.
Yeah, I was playing around with it this morning a little bit, and it's really simple. You basically connect your account with the identity, Deso identity, and then you can connect your Twitter account or your WordPress account by just logging in. I couldn't try Twitter, of course, because I don't have a Twitter account, but it's really
Free Krasen style.
simplified. It's really
Hashtag
simple.
free.
Yeah. Yeah, like I just love the simplicity of it. And then you're able to basically any of your tweets and any of your WordPress blogs would just be ported over to Deso, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So
Hmm. Yes,
simplicity
Shubham.
was like huge, a huge driving factor for us, because already, the kind of complaint that we received from some of the users that we talked to was that, Web3 is a little bit unapproachable. It's a little bit complicated. How does creator coins work? How do tokens work? Normal users wouldn't want to get into Web3 just because of the complexity. So what we wanted to do was create something very simple, which is easy to use, and it can work as an onboarding a platform into Deso. So the simplicity that you see in the product is very much by design, and we plan to keep it that way. So that creators who are not really into Web3 or who do not have much idea about blockchains or decentralized social media, even they can start to leverage it. So since we are creating an onboarding tool, it has to by definition be really very simple. And Mohit, I think you were saying.
I've noticed a lot of posts on Deso. Just when I'm browsing Diamond or I'm browsing NFTZ, I notice a lot of content that is being ported over from Twitter. And I notice it every day, even like I view the new accounts every day on Deso, and so many of them are actually using Setu Deso. Now, do you have any issues with bots or anything using it just to earn diamonds? Have you noticed any of that?
Yeah. So I think I'll probably take that question. So we have seen, I would say, I can probably have the numbers also. We had in between when we started a giveaway around October, we found certain users were there who were trying to gain the entire giveaway process. But I think that was also a learning for us, and we have built fraud checks and other checks in place, so that if we see any red flags, we kind of get to know that these are list of users who are kind of looking and trying to gain this diamonds from out of it. The entire idea of giving the giveaway and doing a diamond was to encourage people, or uh, help them cross the inertia of posting and of doing things on Deso. But definitely there are always con to it, that people may be looking into gamify and get returns out of it. We have faced those issues. We have put checks also. We have done those checks in month of October and November mid. So that's right now we don't see any flags, because I think those accounts are already aware, because we there were certain number of accounts we have already tried to reach out them to understand why do they do that. So
Yeah.
we understood the problem, and we kind of communicate the same to them, that it is not something that we're building for it. Like, it is not for you to just gamify it. Those communications have
Yeah.
been sent to those users as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And this is like super interesting. I just wanted to mention this one thing as well. So it was a whole cat and mouse game. So we were running this giveaways, and we were giving 250 diamonds away for your first 250 posts. And all of these scammers, what they decided to do was create bots which will just pick up random Twitter accounts and they start moving content just to earn those diamonds. And it was fair business. So then we applied this check that we will not give diamonds to retweets. So if you tweet something out, if you type something out, then it's fair enough. If you quote tweet something and you add the text some on top of it, we'll diamond it. But if we are just blind retweeting it without actually adding any value, then we said we're not going to give diamonds. Yet then they started tweeting out some random words just to get the diamonds again. So then we had to put in the check that for like within every hour or a set period of time, you can only gain so many diamonds. So like over an hour, you can only get 10 diamonds, and everything else that you post on top of that will not reward on that. So we had to sort of run this feedback cycle a couple of times, where we'd put a check, and then they would find a way to get around that check. Then we'd put another check, then they would find another way to get around that check.
Yeah,
So
there's always
that's
a gamification.
Yeah, but
Everybody's
I think
always trying the next thing to try and earn as much
yeah,
diamonds or
right now, I
dollars as they
think
can.
we are kind of
yeah,
happy to resolve it because we don't see it happening for past like 1 month. We haven't seen anything happening like that on the platform. But
yeah.
definitely, I think it happens with every platform that once you have it, at least 5 to 10% of the users will be trying to gamify the system. So it's always there.
Yeah, and you guys definitely deserve a lot of credit for helping to onboard a lot of new users, and I think that kind of went under the radar, and you continue to do that. But like, let's hear about your roadmap and what your target goals are for the remainder of this year and the start of next year, and where you see Setu Deso maybe the middle of next year. Like, where would you think you'll be?
Right.
Uh,
So I will maybe touch upon it a little bit, and then wherever I miss out, maybe Mohit can pitch in.
yeah, sure,
So
sure, sure.
so far, basically, we launched this Twitter product in July of this year, and so far we have moved 280,000 tweets. So what we want to do is take this number up to a million. So basically, a million tweets moved into DSO from Twitter. That's kind of our big target for this year. So this year we are already in December. 5 days have passed. So we have a lot of work ahead of us in terms of a big target. But in terms of the roadmap and slightly longer term, what we are looking to do is create connections with other Web2 platforms, which will unlock more users to start leveraging DSO. So I think Reddit was mentioned already. WordPress, we are in the sort of the final testing phase where we're going to launch WordPress this week. And while these are sort of connections with new networks, what we also want to do is create integrations within the DSO ecosystem. So right now, I guess in the last couple of days, you might have seen Nader and Ed Moss test out integration between Diamond and Twitter. So we have been working with Diamond on the back end. What we want to do is enable all Diamond users to just one click import all of their tweets. So they don't have to come into Setu, they don't have to log in or provide their credentials. They are already logged into Diamond. On the side, they will just see a panel where they can click and start moving their tweets, and that is sort of a backend integration we have with them. We are also sort of working on integrations in the backend with the Social World, with DSoFi, and a couple of other apps as well. What these will help us to this sort of increases trust in the ecosystem, because multiple apps are integrating with each other, so users of both apps get to know these new apps, as well as trust these more, because it adds a little bit more of a credibility. And having integrations makes this whole ecosystem more useful. So these integrations are also a key area of focus for us. So for the next quarter, I can see us expanding out to a couple more Web2 platforms, as well as integrating with a few more apps within the DSO ecosystem. Manmohit, anything you would like to
Yeah,
add?
I think that's rightly attributed. So,
Yeah.
so the integration piece that I think we have talked about is basically we have already, I think, 90 to 95% we are done. We just have to release it. Diamond has to release it. Basically, we have done the integration with Diamond, say to the on the backend side. So just to ease the entire process. Same we are trying with Social World and DSoFi also. We already had a quick chat today with Rebel regarding this. So the idea, the goal is clear in the mind that we have to make it as easy as possible for the users. And the two ways that we usually see is one is making available for every user as like in on the first go. So these integrations and visibility will help that. Second is uh, different sort of contents. I would say the variety of content that we have. So diversifying across different type of platforms on different amount of Web2 platforms, I would say, so that they can have different form of long form, short form content to kind of integrate into systems. That is first thing I think we're looking for the coming up 1 quarter. Post that, I think we'll be shifting to multiple other areas, but that is very much clear from our side that hitting a 1 million goal and cracking it across multiple Web2 platforms is something major that we're looking right now. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
exciting.
And just one more thing I wanted to add here, since the question was about vision and sort of a long-term roadmap as well. So what we want to do long-term is this thing called content liquidity provider, and this has been mentioned a couple of times in the discourse on Deso as well. So how we think about this problem is that content is very illiquid in nature. So all of these platforms, for example, Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, they don't want you to go away from their platform. They want the user to be boxed into the platform and maximize the usage of that user within the platform. They don't want the user to churn away to another platform. So but the way social media has been designed, it has been created in these separate buckets, and each of these buckets are sort of not malleable into each other. So the content that exists inside these buckets is very illiquid. It cannot be moved. And so that's where Setu comes in as a content liquidity provider, where we make that content movable. We basically make it more liquid, so that if you have a tweet on Twitter, that same tweet can also be posted to Deso, can also be taken to LinkedIn and to all these other platforms. So all of a sudden that content becomes more liquid, and the more liquid a piece of content is, the more valuable it is. So that is kind of how we think about this problem. That at the end of the day, we want to make content more liquid, make it more movable between different platforms. That is what makes content more valuable, makes it make more money, makes the life for creator more easier. So
I like that, looking at content as having a liquidity. Really interesting.
yes.
Yeah, so is there anything we missed? Anything you want to talk about before we move on to the little bit of news that we have?
Yeah, so basically, another thing that we have been sort of struggling with is and this is where maybe we could exchange some ideas and get some ideas from you guys as well. Is the monetization piece of Setu. So right now we have 1,000 monthly active users and almost 2,000 total subscribers of our platform. So we have a demand from users who sort of want to use Setu. Now we are trying to figure out how to start making money from this. And to do that, we have a couple of approaches. Either A, we can start charging them a subscription fees. So let's say a $5 or $10 fee to start to use Setu services on a monthly basis. But that sort of does not make enough sense to us, because it's kind of a web to business model, and we're not really sure if there are that many people who would be willing to pay for a service like this. Instead, what we would like to do is start charging on a transaction basis. So every time somebody moves a tweet, there is some amount of very minuscule amount of money that we're charging for it. So these are kind of the two approaches that we're thinking about. But are there any novel, Web3 specific approaches that we can think about? Another one that we sort of thought about it a little bit, but did not sort of dive too deep into it, was making our users buy our creator coin. So anybody who holds at least one Setu Deso coin will be able to use all of our features. And anyone who holds less than one token or less than one coin, they will not be able to see those features. So that seems like a little more Web3 centric way of monetizing.
So would that be more of a DAO coin or a creator coin?
So implementation could work either way. We are more in favor of creator coin, because DAO coins have this funding cycle thing where if you create a funding cycle for 1 month, then those DAO coins are in circulation for during that month, and then after that, I'm not sure sort of what happens with it. But creator coins are more visible.
I was just gonna say, I think with creator coins, our issue is the bonding curve. So as you move up that bonding curve, you're going to have it's going to be very pricey to own one coin.
Correct.
So you might have to do like some sort of fixed fee, maybe.
And then people might take
worth.
might start taking profits too, and then leave you.
Leaving, yeah.
Like I think that's why I think like the DAO coins could be an interesting concept, and maybe like if you own a DAO coin, you also get like votes in certain types of things you do,
or gated NFTs or something like that, where you could issue NFTs. I know Pearl's doing some pretty cool things with NFTs that they should be rolling out here pretty soon. So might want to wait around for that and see if they have something that they could offer you guys.
Yeah, I think gated NFT something we can check. DAO, I think at DAO coin usually we were like looking into, because I think it also creates a cycle of returns for the investors. Let's say we create a project, and people who are subscribing, we can probably pass on certain amount of returns to it to the users also, who are the investors itself. So those entire cycle can get created, but we were again not very much clear and bit skeptic about how it will turn out. So we hadn't that taken that mechanism. And regarding like as I think Vaz already mentioned, but we are looking for monetization, but it will not be in near future. It will be something that will be taking a bit longer, because right now is more focus is on growth and solving the problem. But the concept of monetization should be clear within the business owners or the people who are solving it for the platform. That is what we are trying to figure out. But monetization is something that we are not looking for in the near future. It's something that growth is more much focused. How many more users we can acquire, how many more users we can solve the problem, how more we can diversify the set of products that we have. Because once you do that, monetization, you can have multiple streams of monetization. But still, that always remains a question for the founders. Like, how do you solve that particular problem? So we kind of are struggling with that itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you definitely need to start thinking about ways you're going to monetize, even if you don't want to implement it quite yet. Just so you have, if you start raising money, you can kind of ask, people are going to ask you, like VCs are going to ask you, like, how do you plan on monetizing? So it's great to have ideas, even if you don't necessarily want to implement them right away.
Yeah, exactly. And since you brought up raising money, I would also like to give a shout out to our DAO that we have launched on DAO. So for those who are interested, please go check us out on DAO. And what we're trying to do is raise $10,000 to sort of fund our next cycle of development. And we already did one round which finished last month. And in that, we were able to raise $1,100, which I think is amazing, because this is like completely decentralized way. I don't even know half the people who have invested into our idea, and it's just great. We are able to generate some meaningful amount of money just through this decentralized platform. So I really think this could be a really big like DAO as a concept itself. And for those who are interested in our idea, please go check us out there. We still have like 20 odd days to go in this funding round.
Very cool. Yeah, definitely check out that DAO on DAO if you haven't already. So I guess we'll move on to the rest of the news. There really isn't much going on Deso today. Usually Mondays are pretty slow as far as news, because Sundays just not much happens on Deso. But I do want to mention NFTZ. As you know, it's the only place on the Deso blockchain where you can post and view live time Deso NFT auctions. Just go to nftz.me/auctions, and you can see all of the auctions ending soon. I want to touch on a couple that are ending in the next 24 hours. Hackin AI has a really cool photo of some seagulls that he caught in Morocco. That ends at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time today. As you know, NFTZ just launched our photography section. Definitely check that out as well. A lot of awesome photographers are on Deso, and a lot of these photographs have been minted as NFTs, and you can own them for pretty good prices. Also, Vandalism has their first NFT in the Vandalism series up for auction, #1. It's a really interesting looking piece. Check it out. It's just 0.9 Deso. That's a high bid so far, and it ends at 11 p.m. Eastern time today.
Yeah, I quickly want to get to the top NFT bidders over the last 24 hours. According to NFTZ, these people bid on the most NFTs on the Deso blockchain last day. Rain Man, Mir Killy, OTZ Gallery, Viper 444, Deso Girl, Gets, Spunk Art, Randier, Mobatoro, and Insomnia Tutor, and the top diamonded creators over the last 24 hours. Thanks to our friends at Altumbase for this list. These people receive the most diamonds or tips on their posts and replies on the Deso blockchain in the last day. Mr. Preet, followed by Whale Shark ETH, Be It Me Not You, Pixel Angelo, Jay Happy, Tobias Schmid, The Sassy Sergio, Miami Japan, Happy Rabbit, and ECOE.
Yeah, and Brian, you're going to be on Mario Nawfal's show later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, talking about Twitter and our ban on Twitter. And I believe you're going to be there and see how that goes. And I just want to say thanks again to Shubham and Man Mohit of Setu Deso. Great app on the Deso blockchain. And everybody else, we'll talk to you tomorrow.